In the aftermath of last week's races at Montgomery and the latest round of penalties that have come after drivers wrecked under caution, ARLA CEO and Elite Series race director Jen Walker issued one final warning to drivers. Wreck under yellow again, and don't expect to be back for quite some time. I'm not sure if the officials are going to follow through on those threats if we see an incident tonight. Walker is, and I'm putting this delicately, not terribly predictable. If they do lay down the law, though, I wouldn't sympathize too much because we've seen far too many stupid accidents to assume that the current penalties being handed out are sending a message. We've had one driver who was able to clear his penalty though. Calvin O'Reilly was penalized at Daytona for causing an accident under caution. He was told he would be sent to the rear for the next race that he starts, which was tonight. However, he went through the Apex Racing School program again and was able to get that penalty waived. I'm not sure why more drivers aren't doing this. Well, Scott, the Apex Racing School program, which all prospective drivers have to go through to get their competitors' licenses in this series, is not a pleasant ordeal for the experienced drivers. The word condescending is what I've heard most often from people who I've talked to about the program, as it is catered towards people who have never driven a race car before. And now it is time to hand it off to our special guest for this week. Please welcome Texas Motor Speedway track announcer Chet Broussard.
We're here at Texas Motor Speedway for the Henry Walker Memorial. Brenda Riggs replaces Kevin Monroe on the start. She'll lead him to the green flag. Harry Enola, who formerly drove for Riggs, is on the outside. Riggs is going to lead him down into turn 1 in the number 63 Zing car. Challenge from the 90, draws right up to the bumper. Ashley Tucker is going to try and take the lead. She's got some help from Jim Hayes, who's pushing her along down the front straightaway, trying to take the lead into turn 1. Doesn't look like it's going to work. Jim Hayes is going to pull the inside, and the 90 car will get caught in the sucker hole. Oh, and they make contact. Oh, getting a little rough early on here, but Hayes is going to end up getting by Rainsford and the 90 car. Rainsford trying to that high line as Jim Hayes takes the lead and pulls the number 90 along with him. He'll dive down into turn 1, slides up the track a little bit, but he picks up some momentum as other cars lose some. We'll come off turn 2, definitely the leader with clearance all the way around. And now we're 3 wide, all the way back with Barry McIntyre and Bobby Dollar. And it looks like McIntyre's going to slide out, gets tagged by Laurie Cyrus. Oh, he gets to ball! Barton Sandy T-bones the C4. That's a huge crash. I'll certainly hope he's okay. We're only 5 laps into this. Looks like Robert Nelson, the other Australian driver in this field, took some damage. Got caught up in that wreck, took a pretty hard hit himself, but it looks like he's going to be able to keep going. 5 laps into it, and we're already under caution. Pretty quick. Hayes is going to lead on the restart. Megan Driver fell out with an engine problem before the green flag. Now John Hawks is running second. He's got a great start for NT Motorsports. Going to try and see if he can hold on to that. Hometown hero and former champion Kurt Walker is really slow. He's got some damage after that 5-car wreck. He's holding up Lucas Sweeney, Liddy Bell, Tanner Clayson, Zach Webster, and Joel Olenek. Excuse me, they'll hold. Those are the drivers that pass on the outside. Get by that line on the inside. The 77 car. Hayes. Oh my goodness, he goes up in smoke. Well, he gets turned. Makes contact with another car. We've only been green for 6 laps and we've got another caution. It's Jim Hayes sitting still on the racetrack. Brenda Riggs goes up in smoke coming to the yellow. So we're already starting to see a lot of engine problems. Probably a lot of overheating. Probably a lot of other mechanical things going on inside those motors. This track is very stressful. High banks here at Texas, they are. Rachel Rainsford overshoots her pit box. She stalls, and she's going to lose 2 laps. Not good for that number 71 car today. Allie Riggs blows up as she comes to take the field to the restart and has to dive down into the pit lane. Very unfortunate. That leaves Jason Bates in the lead, but he's quickly pounced upon by Calvin O'Reilly in the 672 car. He looks like he's got a pretty good race car today here, driving that number 672 like Koya. Now, talking to a lot of the teams, the kind of setup that you need here as far as chassis is concerned, as we see Walker moving very slow and getting up into Jessica Graham and causes a big wreck on lap 16. Looks like there's about 5 cars involved and not the 45 car is over. He's flipping end over end. Enola and Sweeney are out of this race. O'Reilly is going to continue to lead. This is the best run ever for Dangerous Dog Racing so far this year and in the history of the organization. Having a good run today. But we'll see if he can hold on to it and possibly pick up a win here in Texas, the Lone Star State. And we talked a lot earlier, a little bit, as we see Rachel Rainsford running 2 laps down. She gets tagged. Goodness gracious, we got another caution. Only about 6 more laps after the previous one. This is just ridiculous. We're getting everybody running into each other. Walker's going to park the car for embarrassing himself in the home crowd and the name raced after his grandfather, who probably taught him better than that. Although it's a smart move to pull to the side. It looks like Mikado Yamato's up to 7th in the first modified after being involved in that lap 5 wreck. He got his best career finish at second at Montgomery last week. Well, it looks like Kurt Walker Motorsports, having some trouble. Bates is going to blow up in the lead. He's never won an ARLA race during his 12-year career in the series. O'Reilly continues to lead, but now he's got Zachary Zenz on his tail in 2nd place. Now we talked a little bit about the chassis of these cars, as we were trying to mention earlier. Webster takes 2nd, held up by Rainsford. You want your suspension here kind of set up like a medium rare steak. Firm, but with a little give. Les Azarov tags Tanner Clayson, forces him across Ashley Tucker's 90 car, and there's another crash going into turn 3. Jen Licklider and Nick Hauer are collected. Bunch of cars in that wreck. Most of them, though, look like they're going to continue going on. Doesn't look like anyone's out of the race. Now Libby Bell pulling down off of the racing service into the pit lane, having a bad year with that blown motor. A lot of problems for that team as O'Reilly continues to lead. Joe Olenek is providing some pressure, and that 71 car is still holding up the inside line. They're 3 wide behind him as they come to the front stretch, and the 672 is going to lead. He's got some clearance all around him, but now Zachary Zenz is going to challenge. And we're getting reports that he hasn't taken his meds in 8 years. So I guess the 672 car should probably watch out. But it seems to be working for Zachary Zenz right now. Well, no, Ashley Tucker's got a problem. She's going to lose 5 laps in the pits. Now the Bjorn Green cars have either been on or off. Taking a look now at 3 wide between Zachary Zenz and the 114 car. 33 sneaks around on the outside. We got a good battle for 10th here between Azarov and De Zhao. I think that's how you say it. So that must be one of them foreigner names. Not real sure how that works, but either way, the 39 car can't quite get around him on the inside. Now, AJ Young is having a good run in the 15 car today, running 15th. It's his best career run. Having a pretty good day here at Texas, but he is really slow. Not enough horsepower under the hood of that car. Now, Edwin Schwartzlowski, sponsored by Racers with Disabilities, he's going to pull out. He's got some troubles with the motor. Hawks is running second. He's going to get held up by Young. Young on his way to his best career finish, but he's still very, very slow compared to the leaders. Hawks is also on his way to career best finish. They got a pretty decent sponsorship deal over the winter, and they're able to get some better equipment. Tanner Clayson having a good run in that 79 car. He's running 6th. A very interesting grille on the front of that car. Certainly hope it's powered by propane. AJ Young's going to hold up the low line. Tanner Clayson is going to go by him along with Daniel Diamond. Daniel Diamond, which is known as Zachary Zenz's protege. And they'll get a little bit of separation from that pack. Hawks is closing in on the leader, Calvin O'Reilly, once again, two very fast cars here at Texas Motor Speedway. O'Reilly is out with an engine failure. He's having the best run of his career, and he's out of the race with engine problems. Unbelievable. We're just seeing cars drop like flies here in this race. Hawks inherits the lead. He's the first of the leaders to pit. Zachary Zenz is going to follow him in. Let's see if Zenz can beat him out. See if he can get a better time by his pit crew. Now Zach Webster is going to come in and stayed out for an additional lap, hoping that the newer tires allow him to carry some more speed. Now the battle for the lead is on. Zachary Zenz looking to the inside of Hawks. Hawks is not going to give it up so easy though. Eventually he will have to relent. Let's see if he gets a good run on the high side coming off of 2. And he can't quite make it stick. He'll pull down the inside as Zachary Zenz slides up in front of him. He's going to take a look again on the inside. See if he can go. Well, he's slowing down. He's got mechanical problems. He's having to pull into the pits. This is just ludicrous. It's just stupid. We got all these drivers out here running pretty well, but Zach Webster currently catching Zenz by staggering 7/10 of a lap. The new tires making a difference, and as I was saying, we're having a lot of engine troubles tonight. Webster's on his way to a career best finish. He's pretty far behind though. We look on the onboard camera with Zachary Zenz. That tiny speck in the distance is Webster. Now let's take a look 8 laps later. Webster's right on top of Zenz. Those tires are really making a difference. Always good to have fresh rubber, add some good speed, and this generally allows the car to be faster. Webster's going to challenge for the lead. He's used up his stuff though trying to catch Zenz. He's not going to be able to complete the pass. Loses a little bit of ground coming off of 2. Looks like Ashley Tucker on much faster tires is going to pass him, but she's still several laps down. Indeed. Actually, she's not going to get quite by him, but she will pull up to Webster. Jessica Graham's second year in ARLA has brought her a lot of good luck. Much better luck than previously. She's currently 5th in the standings, and Daniel Lecklider blows up from 8th. This is ridiculous. We got a bunch of teams out here with cars that are blowing up. We're not going to finish this race at this rate. Everybody's just going to blow up and drop out. It's like the great Tommy Spangler used to say, "You don't want to win." Tanner Clayson battling here for 6th position. Looks underneath and the inside, but can't quite get the momentum. Doesn't quite have the speed down there. Zachary Zenz, meanwhile, is trying to put Makoto Yamada a lap down, but Yamada is fighting, probably praying for a caution. Zenz got A1 racing their first win in 2012, and afterwards he bought the team and renamed it New World Orphans. Maybe they don't have parents. Otherwise I don't understand the name. Zenz's protege Daniel Diamond is charging. He's coming up on Tanner Clayson in that number 33 car. Diamond takes 4th as AJ Young holds up Tanner Clayson. Young really needs to get off the track. He's just far too slow. Daniel Diamond trying to gain some more spots. Webster's not going to be able to close in on the white flag lap. Zachary Zenz going to come off of turn 4, and he's going to win the first race here at the Henry Walker Memorial at Texas Motor Speedway. I'll tell you what, that's a real good looking car right there, dressed up and painted in the stars and stripes. Now here's the battle for 3rd between Diamond and Olenek on the last lap. And Diamond's going to get by Olenek by a car length and a half at the stripe. What a great move to get the 3rd position. Taking a look at the race results here, Zachary Zenz gets 106 points for winning and leading the lap. Zach Webster scores 94, he led a lap. Daniel Diamond 3rd, Joe Olenek 4th, Tanner Clayson 5th, Lev Azaroff 6th, Foreigner in 7th, Nick Howard 8th, Jessica Graham 9th, and Makoto Yamada 10th. Rachel Rainsford 2 laps down in 11th. Daniel Lecklider, the first in the field to be out. He was the last driver to have any kind of mechanical failure. He ended up 13th. Some big names down here outside of the race, particularly Allie and Brenda Riggs. Both of them led laps though. Laurie Cyrus out, Robert Nelson and Barton Sandy, Robert Lecklider, and the C4 of Barry McIntyre also out of this race. So that's it for race number 1. Let's have a look now at race number 2 as Bobby Porto leads the field to the start. Alex Carson to his outside. Joseph Howard and Rip Tyler make up row 2. Rip Tyler being the defending series champion. Hopefully we'll have a much better race this time around with less mechanical failures and less general stupidness of people just not being courteous and running all over each other. Although this is the American Racing League of America, so that's probably a pretty tall order to ask. Here's Team Burr teammates Derek Dudding and Cletus McGuffey. They're moving roadblocks as usual. I think over there in Europe they call those chicanes. Well, we're not in Europe, we're in Texas, so we call them roadblocks. Ryan Griffin in the 86X gets a little too personal coming off of turn 2. He was retained by Ike Durbin's team and started driving the ARLA car after his Team Lights license was revoked. He's making it 3 wide right now in turn 3 and 4. Looks like Alex Carson is going to challenge Bobby Porto, but Porto is very strong on the outside. He's going to hold on to the lead. 2010 champion came back to ARLA for Mitchell & Sons after an unsuccessful stint in the TM Master Cup Series, and he's picked up 2 wins since. Cleese McGuffey's going to lap down. He's making life miserable for the low line. He needs to park it. He's going far too slow to be competitive. He just needs to... He's holding up Michael Madrigal and all in the... Is that pie on the side of that car? Derek Dudding is going to hit the turn 2 wall. It's going to scare Andrea Kineza in the 78. And the battle for the lead is now down to Porto, Taylor Brillin, and Rip Tyler after the Team Burr cars have had their fun. I'm certainly hoping they've parked by now. Behind these three, Zach Gott fights Nick Zazer for 4th, and Zazer is off to a good start in his underfunded FAC Motorsports car. He's hoping to actually finish a race for once. Bobby Porto is going to need a new pair of pants after dealing with Aaron Singer getting real personal, bumping and rubbing in his family-owned casino chain sponsor. He's brought it to Family Racing, Wesley Family Racing. They're hoping to have a good run here. Well, McGuffey's still out on the track. Brian and Porto will split him. And Brian's going to use the momentum on the outside to challenge for the lead. He's side by side with Porto, and it looks like he's going to get it. He won consecutive races last season at New York and Talladega. And there they go past Derek Dudding, who desperately and sincerely needs to get off the track. Ryan Matthews looks like he's got a mechanical problem. He can't get out of the way. He's going to get up right in Leonard Scurry's path. Michael Madrigal and J.W. Lester in the 5.0 car are also collected. Lenore Scurry was going to have to end up pulling it back behind the garage. Well, that's just stupid. Andrea Knazia gets hit from behind under caution. And we've already been over this once with ARLA boss Jen Walker. Huge punishment is threatened for drivers who wreck under the yellow. And we're getting reports now that yes, indeed, they are going to have a meeting with the car that caused that infraction. Taylor Breon pulls out and gets hit in the right rear quarter panel, prevents the driver from getting to his pit box. He's going to lose they're both going to lose spots on pit road. Coming back out, Breon loses some more spots. Green Racing number 4022, driven by Todd Stater, is going to lead him into the first corner. And now 22-year-old Hazel May Fratton, whom we thought was a lot older when we first saw her name, going to drive below Stater and take the lead. Zach Gott and Dempsey follow onto the back straightaway. Stater's won 2 races with his team in his career, one in 2010 and the other in 2012. Let's see if he can make it a third here today in 2013. Gott and Fratton duel for the lead with Leslie Riggs bearing down on them. Leslie Riggs has got something of a temper as we see her attempt to move Gott out of the way. He slides up the track, opens the door for Riggs. Riggs is going to go past into second. Gott's going to hand the Gravity Racing number 7 over to Eric Jackson at Mexico. They're both going to make a joint effort to run at the title. Now Leslie Riggs is going to take the lead from Fratton. Oh, and she moves up the track, defending the position. She's blocking all over the place. Aaron Singer slides up the racetrack and gets into Michael Madrigal. And that's a pretty significant hit by both of them. Looks like they're both going to be able to keep going, though. And now they make contact again. Difficult stock cars to handle, these cars are. Lucy Branton pitted several laps ago. She has some kind of mechanical problem and doesn't look like they'll be able to solve it. Herbie Finkelberg, the Israeli driver, leads on the restart for David Krikorian's team. He's won a race last year and he had the speed to win several others, but he's never really had the luck to close the deal. He's going to try and do that here today. Right now he's doing a pretty good job of it in that 7 car. Well, he does get passed by Hazel May Fratton. He's now trying to hold off Leslie Riggs once again, but Riggs is just going to fly right on past. She had a horrific accident in the TM Master Cup race in 2011. She hasn't won an ARLA race since, before the accident, but she has come close many times. She's certainly got the talent, but she does not quite have the character. Rip Tyler has found his teammate Bigsby Foote running 20th. Power Steering Inc. may have a bit more to worry about the mediocre performance. Their teammate Libby Bell blew up earlier tonight. So, much like a lot of other drivers, the strain of this high-banked mile-and-a-half oval taking its toll on the engines. Jack Dempsey, Trey Ashby, and Taylor Breon battle for 8th. Dempsey is focusing on putting on a good run for Terra National Motorsports, despite having given the black spot. Todd Stater powers by Fratton on the outside. He's going to take the lead back, and he's sharing that 24-22 car in a dual championship bid with another driver. Michael Madrigal goes another lap down. He's got a lot of damage on that Pi car. I think it's Pi. And now Leslie Riggs goes out. Engine failures have just wiped out the entire Riggs clan. There's not a single Riggs left. We are all out of Riggs here in Texas. Oh, former Mississippi State Sheriff J.W. Lester is very slow. He's got a lot of damage. His car also fell off the pace and let going at Daytona. Looks like he's holding up another car coming out of turn 4. That's Hazel May Fratton. Fratton's not going to be able to get around and she's losing a lot of ground. She'll fall back and end up battling for 6th with Kineza. Oh, Kineza's got a problem. She gets in the grooves. Oh, she's spinning out the drop. Oh no! Was a big crash. Huge crash going into turn 3. Fratton comes down and gets turned going into that 97 Nitro Racing car of Trey Ashby, and he just gets T-boned. Matthews, Ashby, and Fratton are all out of the race. We certainly hope that 97 car, the driver of the 97 car, is okay. Nick Azur pitted coming to the yellow flag, and apparently unscheduled stop. He is 2 laps down. Benchy Flynn stayed out for an extra lap to grab a point, but Ramsey Cochraner seems to have the same idea. Flynn ended up getting the bonus point from under him, though. Now Todd Stater's being held up by Jack Dempsey's damaged 41 car on the restart. Bobby Porto is a lap down after having to make an emergency stop in the last run, and Kyle Gaffigan takes the lead in the number 07 car. They're made it 3 wide there for a second, coming off the corner. Gaffigan and Tyler are dueling for the top spot. Both Azur and Porto are off the lead lap. Sitting there on the inside is the leader's attempt to get by them on the outside. Gonna gain some momentum coming off of turn 4, and indeed they will get past those lap cars. Kelly Posadas is 5th. Another strong run for that hotshot racing team. She's got sponsorship from a lot of local businesses in her hometown back in Wisconsin. They make a lot of cheese up there in Wisconsin. Got a lot of cows probably too. Now Joseph Howard, 3-time TM Master Cup champion, is going to try and take away the spot from the 88. Bobby Porto, it looks like he's got an engine failure. 3rd time this season. Tyler tries to take the lead with help from Stater and Posadas. Doesn't look like he's got quite enough. Gaffigan and Carson are fighting back on the outside. Now Carson's going to take the high line. He powers by Gaffigan. He's going to go into 2nd spot. He's going to try and take the lead. Oh, they almost touch. And he's got clearance. Carson taking over the number 2 at Pearson Sweeney Motorsports after 4-time champion Andy Pearson hung up the helmet. He's got the lead. He'll come back around off turn 4 and lead this lap. Now Michael Madrigal is holding up Stater and Howard. He needs to get, just like every other driver who's damaged and not on the pace, he needs to move out of the way. He's holding up people's chances for a good run. It's just ridiculous. Now Bigsby Foote is up to 2nd. He's won 3 races the previous season. He's helped make Power Steering Inc. the winningest team of 2012. Kyle Gaffigan's engine's let go now, taking him from third. This is ridiculous. Lap 61, we've got a bunch of cars out with engine failure. There's only about 11 or 12 now. As he coasts to the inside, and now we're down another car. Lap 64, Zach Gott blows up. He was running 12th, and now he'll drop all the way back. Finish way down in the standings. Posada's got a problem. Tries to get down, but can't quite do it. Gets into Stater, collects Rip Tyler, and oh! Nick Azur just clobbered the 88 head on. He's got his third DNF in 4 races. We certainly hope that Azur and Posadas are both okay. Both the leaders pit under caution, Carson and Foot. Apparently they couldn't make the distance on fuel, but they will be able to now with fuel load. Let's see who ends up getting out in first. And it looks like it's going to be Carson. He has led at the end of the advertised distance. Now they've red flagged the race, and they're going to have a green-white checkered. Scott Dalletz, Ramsey Cockner are both on the tail end of the lead lap. They'll be allowed to continue the race. Now they're double file for the 2-lap shootout. Now Carson's got a problem coming to the green flag. Not on the lawn. You don't mess with a man's lawn, Pearson. He just pulls up and runs right on the grass. Just stay on the track and low. Stater heads into the lead in the first corner. Brian's going to make a move to the inside. Everyone in the field shoves each other around. Foot is nearly wrecked by Howard. Let's see if Brian can hang on to the lead. Finkelberg is going to challenge going into turn 3, but he can't quite get it. The Highline's got a ton of momentum and a lot of grip up there. Now the 422 is going to take a look. Stater tries to take the lead. Let's see if he can do it. Can't quite hang on going into 1. He loses some momentum. And Brian on the outside, getting a push from Bigsby Foot. He's going to hold on to the lead. Now Bigsby Foot's trying to take a look to the inside. He can't quite pull alongside. And here they come off the final corner. And Tyler Brian takes her 6th career victory as Foot couldn't make the move stick. Taylor Brian wins here at Texas Motor Speedway in the Henry Walker Memorial. 106 points for Brian in the 64 car, 90 for Bigsby Foot. He did not lead a lap today. Now Todd Slater in the 422 did. He led a lap and the most laps. Rip Tyler 5th, Herbie Finkelberg, a great run in 6th. Ramsey Cockner, Benji Flynn, and Alex Carson round up your top 10 and your drivers who actually completed the race. Everyone else had some sort of engine or mechanical failure. Aaron Singer, Zach Gott, Kyle Gaffigan, Bobby Porto. A lot of drivers with having good runs. Leslie Riggs, Ryan Griffin, Lucy Barton started and parked, and Lenore Scurry, who finished behind us start and park. And of course, the Team Burr, 29th and 30th, Cleus McGuffey and Derek Dudding. So exciting action here at Texas Motor Speedway. This is Chet Brassard signing off. Thanks for tuning in. Here's a look at the standings. And we'll look to see you in Mexico next week.